In the near future, 8 video game players get weird messages asking them to play a new game called The Call-Up. It promises a prize of $100,000. They all meet up on the 25th floor of a tall office building downtown. Once they are all there, a robot voice tells them to sign in on a tablet. Then they had to put all their clothes and personal stuff in lockers and put on special suits provided for the game. While changing, some guys make fun of Adam because
the tight suit barely fits him. Carl shows
everyone a bad burn scar he has, and Andre mentions he used to be a soldier. When they are ready, they go into a room with a scanner. The voice tells them to step on it, say their gamer usernames, and then grab their gear. The gear is a high-tech suit with a virtual reality helmet that plugs right into their backs, making the game feel totally real. Adam is surprised because he thought only rich people or the military had stuff like that. Everyone gears up fast except for Zayat.
He's a Muslim guy from
Bosnia who picked the username terrorist as a joke, not realizing it would be displayed on his suit for everyone to see. He feels weird about it and wants to leave, but the door is locked. He yells for help, but nobody comes. The others convince him it's not a big deal, so Zayat agrees to play. The voice announces the training part is starting. Everyone puts on their helmets and the simulation begins. The room changes into a destroyed city that looks incredibly
real. Their suits look like army uniforms,
and even their real-life tattoos are gone. In the game it feels real, but they notice their hands pass right through things in the simulation. Suddenly a sergeant character appears and starts yelling at them like army recruits. They can't touch him either, and when they lift their helmets they see he's not really in the room. He's just a very realistic game character. The group follows the sergeant into another room to get their weapons, which are just fake guns in real life. The sergeant tells
them to
shoot at some bottles. The players are amazed because the kickback from the guns feels real. After some practice, the sergeant shoots 2 players in the game. This makes them lose their protective vests. Since it's just training, they get the vests back right away. The sergeant explains that getting hit once means losing your vest, leaving you easy to hurt. If you get hit again without the vest, you can use a special healing shot, but you only get 1 each. The mission is this: the building
has been taken
over by dangerous terrorists. The group needs to fight their way down to the ground floor. Anyone who makes it out alive gets the $100,000 cash prize. In real life, after the sergeant vanishes, Andre takes charge. Because he was a soldier, he gives them tips on how to be quiet and sneaky. They start checking rooms until an enemy pops out in the hallway and starts shooting. Most of them hide, but Andre reacts fast and kills the guy. The voice announces they
finished level 25 and Andre got all the points.
They touch the dead enemy and see he's just part of the game too. When they try to use the stairs, they find out there's something set up to shock them if they try to leave before finishing the level. On level 24 they find better guns and Andre shows them how to use them. They move into the main room and Marco kills the first enemy he sees. Feeling braver, most players start running around using random stuff for cover and shooting terrorists. Adam shoots a lot but misses
every time. Andre has to jump
in and shoot the enemy targeting Adam, but Andre gets hit in return and loses his vest. Meanwhile, Taylor starts freaking out, having a panic attack. It turns out the game invite wasn't even for her. She came instead of a friend and can't handle how real it all feels. Shell tries to calm her down, reminding her it's just a game, but when Shell has a chance to shoot an enemy, she freezes up too. The terrorist coming towards them gets killed by Carl. Then Carl gets shot and
loses his vest. He tries to give up,
but the enemy shoots him again. Shelly runs out and kills that enemy. Carl and Shell both lift their helmets back in the real room. Carl is feeling terrible pain. They go back into the game and Andre uses his 1 healing shot on Carl, fixing him instantly. Carl, totally shaken up, lifts his helmet again and throws up for real. He says this can't just be a game. The whole group lifts their helmets to take a break while Adam looks for more weapons. Carl explains he felt real electric shocks and guesses this might be some kind of messed up reality TV show. Zayat starts panicking and tries to rip off his suit, but it won't come off. Marco thinks maybe it's a test of some kind. Then Zayat suggests it could be a military experiment and Marco agrees, accusing Andre of being in on it. They start arguing and things get
heated. Andre goes to the bathroom to cool off.
The players don't realize the game is still running and the terrorists they killed start coming back. One traps Andre in the bathroom. He barely gets his helmet back on before he's shot multiple times. He needs healing but already used his shot on Carl. The others hear noise, put their helmets back on, and Edward gets shot right away. The group scatters and hides. Taylor tries to run for the stairs, but she can't leave because the level isn't finished. Terrorists start shooting and
the team fights back.
Edward uses his healing shot. Andre crawls through the hallways bleeding badly. Adam throws a grenade, killing the last enemies. The level ends and Adam gets the high score with the shooting stopped. They hear Andre calling for help. Just then Andre lifts his helmet in real life and hears a timer start. His brain gets electrocuted and he starts shaking uncontrollably for minutes. By the time the others find him, Andre is dead. Shelly tries CPR but it's no use.
The voice tells them they can go to the next
level. Nobody wants to play anymore. They see real blood on the floor and realize the helmet killed Andre. They all try to take their helmets off but they are stuck. Zayat grabs a fire extinguisher in panic and asks someone to help test if they can break the helmets. Carl volunteers. Zayat hits Carl's helmet a couple of times with the extinguisher but it doesn't break or come off. Just then the sergeant character calls them back into the game. He walks right through Carl and
then kicks Zayat hard for breaking the rules. The sergeant warns them they'll be punished
if they don't play, so they feel forced to continue. They go down through several more levels, mostly without big problems, but each floor has new weapons and different game rules. In one room with a gas leak they can't use guns and had to fight with knives up close. Killing someone face to face makes Taylor even more anxious. Shell promises her she'll get her out. As they keep going down, more players lose their vests during a big shootout. Both Carl and Adam get shot badly. Shell and
Marco use their
healing shots on them. A few hours later they take another break and see it's nighttime outside. Sick of the game, they start trying to break the windows. Zayat manages to crack one with a metal cart, but the sergeant shows up again and starts beating Zayat way harder than before. Zayat tries to run down the stairs, but the sergeant kicks him, causing him to fall and break his leg for real. Before leaving, the sergeant warns that the next person who tries to escape will be killed. The team helps Zayat. They see his leg is broken in real life, but it's fine in the game, so they can't use a healing shot. The game voice tells them to move on. Zayat tells them to hide him somewhere safe and leave him behind. They place him behind some furniture. Minutes after they leave, Zayat dies from blood loss. On the next level, Marco argues with the others about weapons. While they are distracted, a hidden enemy shoots Marco from behind. As the team shoots back, Taylor runs and hides in a bathroom.
Stall another grenade.
Ends the fight. Shelly uses her healing shot on Marco. They notice Taylor is gone and go look for her. A terrorist walks into the bathroom and starts checking the stalls. Shelly hears him, busts in and stabs the guy before he finds Taylor. The level ends. Edward gets the high score and is now in first place overall. During their break, they talk about their lives and realize none of them have close family. They figure out they were chosen because no one would miss them if they died, meaning the company behind the game wouldn't get in trouble. They move to the next level and find the sergeant beating up a hostage. He tells them there's a bomb in the basement set to blow up the building and kill them all unless they stop it fast. The only way is to get a code from the hostage. The hostage is hooked up to wires. Edward doesn't hesitate and starts shocking the guy over and over. The hostage begs them to stop, but they don't. Finally, he gasps out a word. Adam types it into a
computer, but it actually starts
the bomb timer. They only have 30 minutes to turn it off by hand. The sergeant leaves. The hostage laughs at them and Taylor shoots him dead. Marco gets really mad and blames Adam. He tries to punch Adam but hurts his hand on Adam's helmet, so Marco lifts his own helmet and punches Adam's real face. Taylor tries to stop him and gets it too. Suddenly they hear the sergeant yelling that he's holding the elevator door open. The team rushes into the elevator. It starts going down but stops suddenly between floors. The doors only open a little. Marco forces them open enough for everyone to squeeze out, but when Adam tries to leave, Marco blocks him as payback and they both get stuck inside. As the elevator goes down to the third floor, once out, the two see a crashed helicopter through a window. Marco makes Adam go first through the level. Adam kills a terrorist but runs out of bullets. Marco still pushes Adam forward using him as a human shield. Marco runs and hides while
Adam gets shot down and dies.
Quickly, Marco has a breakdown with only 15 minutes left on the bomb timer, but he pulls himself together and keeps going when the voice says the level is clear. Meanwhile, back on the fourth floor, Shell, Carl, and Edward find weapons and search the area. A terrorist throws a smoke grenade. Carl starts having a panic attack because of the smoke. Shell checks on him and Carl explains he lost his girlfriend in a fire that gave him his scar and now smoke triggers bad
memories. Shell calms him down and gets him
to keep going. The team fights through more levels and finally reaches the first floor, almost out of ammo while the others fight. Taylor finds a spare healing shot. Marco suddenly appears behind her and demands the shot. Taylor refuses, so Marco shoots her dead. Carl comes looking for Taylor. Marco pretends he's under attack and ignores him. Carl finds Taylor's body and sees she used her own blood to write Marco's username on the floor. Carl flips out, opens his helmet and attacks Marco. For real, he kicks Marco a few times and tries to choke him. Marco pushes him off, slams him against a wall and starts beating him up. Carl fights back, hitting Marco with a fire extinguisher, but Marco kicks him away. Just as Marco is about to shoot Carl, the sergeant appears and starts beating up Marco. He grabs Marco by the neck and chokes him to death. After finding the bodies, the last three players, Shelly, Carl, and Edward, head down. With only 7 minutes left, they reach the basement. The voice says it's the final level. They grab new weapons and start clearing the area, killing terrorists. They try to move towards the bomb whenever they can, but more enemies keep showing up. Carl throws a grenade, finishing that fight. As they run for the bomb, a surprise terrorist jumps out of a van and shoots Carl down. Shelly and Edward dive for cover while Carl looks for his healing shot. Shell hears there are only 2 minutes left. She makes a run for the bomb but gets shot down too. Carl, already dying, crawls to her and
uses his last
healing shot on her instead of himself. He tells her to win, then dies next to her. Edward uses a bazooka to kill the last enemy. He runs to the bomb and stops it with just 1 second left. The sergeant appears and congratulates them. Suddenly Edward starts repeating the sergeant's speech word for word, revealing he was working for the game company the whole time. The game ends. Men in black suits come into the real room, knock Shell out with a drug and start cleaning up the
building, removing the bodies. The
game server erases all records of the players and shuts down. In the morning, Shelly wakes up back in her own clothes. She sees Edward now in a suit supervising the cleanup crew. He hands her a bag full of the prize money. Shelly says she'll go to the cops, but Edward tells her no one will believe her story. A man tries to drug her again, but Shell fights back, grabs the needle and jabs him with it. Instead, she steals his gun and shoots out all the lights in the parking garage. Edward
sends his men after
her, but after everything she learned in the game, Shelly easily kills them all. She confronts Edward, who begs for his life, but she shoots him dead without hesitation.